How's it going, guys? My name is Jerry with Stick Auto Detailing. Today we're here in Baldwin Park, California, and we're working on this 2023 Toyota Tacoma, and we're doing an overspray removal. And for you new detailers that haven't experienced overspray, this video is going to help you guys out a lot.
All right, Jerry, so tell me the difference right here, man.
So the neighbor was telling me, the client was telling me that the neighbor, they were spray painting their their fence next door, and I came and checked it out. And yeah, there's very fine overspray. So I told my client, we're for sure gonna need to do like a clay bar. Usually my method on removing overspray, depending on how heavy it is, how fine it is, I 100% try to do a clay bar first to remove as much as I can. And then I'll use I'll pretty much like polish it out, buff it out with the polisher. And I make sure that I use a product that has like some kind of oil in it, because all that friction and all that stuff, it loosens it up, and I usually always get the job done with just using that step. In this case right here, since it's very fine, I'm doing the clay bar, and I could already tell a difference, because when I start claying, it's very rough. Just do a couple passes, and now I could already tell a difference. So we're getting the job done for sure.
All right, Jerry, so you're doing the clay bar treatment. Now, I know there's other detailers, they use clay lube, they use this and that. What are you using?
Soap and water. I'm using just soap and water. Back in the day when I was first starting out, I had an old school detailer. Mind you, my method of like claying and all that was different, but he was telling me like, hey man, just use a mint, use the, lubrication of the soap and water, just keep on going. And I tried it out, bro. I was cutting my clay jobs like in half. Ever since then, this is really just how I do it, and the reason why is because I don't feel like you really need anything extra. Clay lube, yes, it could be a little more sleek, a little more like less friction between the clay pad and like the paints, but I feel like you can't beat actually I don't want to say you can't beat soap and water, but all that other stuff is just extra. It gets the job done. Ultimately the clients, they want you to provide results, and I'm providing results. But let me know, guys, what do you guys think? You guys also use the soap and water method, or you guys prefer like clay lube? Drop it down in the comments below.
What's up, Jerry? Did the clay bar do it, or?
It did like 90% of it. There's like little spots here and there that I see, but that's why I always follow up with giving it like a quick little polish. And my go-to product for this is a 3D speed. Not only does it have like polished properties in it, it has some protection. I've noticed that it has up to like 6 months of protection, but the oil's in it as well. With all that friction and everything, it kind of like removes that light overspray.
All right, Jerry, so for new detailers that have never experienced overspray, what's a tip you have for them?
So I would for sure say, if you are going to take the job and you've never done it before, just be careful, because the reason why I say this, one, you don't want to take a job that you've never done before because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Not only does it kind of cause like the client to doubt you for like future jobs, but there's a chance that you might even mess up their vehicle, I would say for sure, if you have some time, try to hurry up and like watch some YouTube videos, because that's what I did. I started like watching YouTube videos. Sometimes they say like, oh, use warm water. I believe they say vinegar. I tried that, it kind of didn't work for me. Something like this, for example, it's very light overspray. So a simple clay bar, you can kind of get away with it, You just gotta make sure that you do it to where you get every inch of the vehicle, because you're gonna be able to tell where you missed. And look out for products also, I want to say that I've also seen people say to use iron remover. It kind of like helps break it down. I've done that a while back. I don't remember what the outcome was. I got the job done, but I don't know if that was what helped. So just be careful, guys. You guys don't want to mess up somebody else's vehicle.
Have you ever experienced really bad overspray before?
Yeah, so I did a motorcycle about, I would say about 2 years ago. It was a referral from another detailer. He wasn't out in the area. Somebody was doing a paint job, and I pretty much went over there, went to go do the job, and I was claying and everything. It was very fine overspray all over the motorcycle. Mind you, the motorcycle was about 20 years old. It was just a pain. I got the job done, but I had to be very tedious with the job, because if I used like for example, I know sometimes they say to either use like paint thinner or paint lacquer. You don't want to push really hard or put any you know, force behind it. You just kind of let the pad do its job. I kind of took that route. That's my last resort. And what happened was, since the paint job was old, I started seeing a little bit of paint coming off, and I let the client know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm gonna use this product. It's my last resort, but there's the potential that like there's a possibility that the paint's gonna be removed. Once it started getting removed, I was like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, no problem. But that's what happened. So, you know, if I have experience with stuff like that and that happened to me, just be careful, guys. Hey, but let me know, guys, what's your worst overspray experience and how did you guys handle it? Drop it down in the comments below.
All right, Jerry. And what machine and pad are you going to be using?
So I'm going to be using this this Max Shine. It's a 5-inch. Actually, this is a 6-inch, and it's a dual action. So the reason why I like to use this is because I cover a little more ground. I usually use it for like the larger areas, like the larger portions of the doors, the roof, and the hood. That way I'm not there, you know, just like forever with a 3-inch. But for all the other tighter spots, I am going to use a 3-inch.
Jerry, correct me
Yes,
if I'm wrong, but is this called priming or are you doing something else?
Priming, yep, exactly. You just want to make sure that you're kind of, you know, covering all the area of the pad. That way you're not really like working with any dry spots. You know, it's kind of worked in evenly. Since this is a bigger pad, I did, you know, kind of apply twice. But now I'm going to do, you know, just like probably 4 dots maybe. Now we get to work.
All right, Jerry, pulling out the 3-inch destroyer.
Yo, you already know.
What areas are we going to be focusing on for
So
this one?
I'm going to be focusing on, like, for example, the front bumper, you know, take care of these tight spots, the mirrors, this strip right here on both sides, you know, stuff like that.
I mean, I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about overspray, another thing that customers might get is tar from the roads.
Yeah.
Same process or something different?
So it's going to be a little different. There's like dedicated like chemicals for that, you know. For example, I know stoners, they have like a tar and sap remover. Usually with something like that, all you need to do is just kind of like spray, let it sit really quick, or sometimes you could even let it, you know, like work it in with like a towel or like a applicator, and then you just rinse it off.
All right, Jerry. So, what package did they get, man?
So I would kind of count it as like my paint enhancement package, you know. So my paint enhancement package is about $300 for like sedans. That includes like a vacuum and wipe down also. And I actually just did one recently, the black Honda, and I kind of have like an epiphany, if you will. I was doing it, I thought I was charging a $350, and then I kind of looked at my pricing and it was cheaper than what I thought. And I kind of want you guys' feedback, because I was thinking like, damn, I could be charging more for this easily. So let me know, guys, what do you guys think I should be charging for a paint enhancement like this? All right, guys, this is my process on the overspray. Hopefully you guys learned something today. And this channel is to help all the new detailers out there. So if you guys like this, don't forget to like, comment, and stay blessed.